A World Cup final without Brazil is unthinkable. It's never happened in 13 tournaments. Their road to Italy starts here in Venezuela. It's 4 p.m. local time, the first of the qualifying World Cup ties in Group 3. Chile are the third team in this group. The winners automatically qualify. It should be straightforward for Brazil, when admittedly under strength they lost to Sweden, Denmark and Switzerland. I hardly need to tell you the colours of Brazil. A corner. Taffarel is back Careca from Napoli, who was injured. And he's forming part of a three-pronged attack with Bebeto and Romario. Romario, number 11, lurking in the centre. The defender was Torres, but the ball had already crossed the line.
Before, didn't Pereira, he played something like, he played both the orthodox centre-half and the, well, as they call it, the libero. But it is unusual for them. They usually play a very sort of fluent back four.
Well, Branco will spend a lot of time in midfield, and he can shoot! Well, there we are. In the 6th minute, and the golden touch from Brazil. Branco with that wonderful left foot, and it simply sped into the corner. And if you've switched on tonight expecting that sort of Brazilian excitement, you haven't had too long to wait, Ron.
Well, as we saw in Mexico, he's a very, 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 very good left-sided player, this guy. And gets an awful lot of free kick goals in Portugal.
Mauro Galvão stepping in. Marcinho switching the play. And what will Branco do this time? Well, he varies for a clever little pass in. The goalkeeper was deceived too and came rather impulsively. Careca went round him but ran the ball behind. So that was the bluff, Ron, that time. Just wonder here whether Venezuela might catch them still glorying in Branco's strike. If they get half a chance, they'll have to take it, because that might be all they'll get since that wonderful triumph in Mexico in 1970. Played back in by Rivas, overhit and beyond the despairing Fernandez. But Venezuela really here for the taking. Bebeto. Romario laying it off. This is Dunga. And now the right back, Marcinho, joining in. Well, you're disappointed when it doesn't go on target. Dunga, quite capable of beating a goalkeeper from that range, but he just got underneath it and didn't control the volley.
I think you've just seen there.
Dunga are really the two regular midfield men in this lineup. Of course, they'll be supported there by the fullbacks. Bebeto linking up with Marcinho. It was a cross to test Venezuela's concentration at the far post. Pacheco able to divert it behind for the corner. And that was a moment where, as the ball rolled towards him, he had to strike at it quickly, but he couldn't connect. Trying to do the striking at the other end now is Romario. Is it off the line? It is. Romario, who has this capacity for almost smuggling the ball past defenders. The pressure is still on Venezuela. Buying some time now, Fernandez. One back by Rick.
Even in their greatest of sides, you were never totally sure about Gilmar, were you? I mean, he got the big... Perhaps it's because, by and large, they've never really needed goalkeepers.
That may well be so.
But I'll tell you what, they've never struggled in this situation, have they? Free kicks, anything up to 35 yards from...
Another special effort. 5 in the wall to bypass. The goalkeeper on his toes, rather in the centre of the goal. Here goes Branco. Oh, it was close enough to bring an ooh from the crowd. pure Rivellino, wasn't it, for their own league, and indeed at times for getting the right squad together for internationals. The World Cup brings them all out though, and brings the best out of their football. Surely no. Oh, the goalkeeper just cut it out. One pass too many, Ron?
Well, not really, no. I mean, he just hasn't produced a perfect ball here. He's played a gnarly ball here, and in fact got very, very physical.
This is Betancourt doing well for Venezuela. Oh, this is brilliant stuff. Just once or twice lacking a little bit of know-how when they get to the edge of the area.
Or a bender, try for deflections off the wall, or even a sort of parry off the keeper.
Baldo almost sneaking his shot inside the near post.
He just didn't get round Branco's pass there. I mean, the first ball he put out of play, he got good possession there. Then I think he was stretching a little bit.
Valdo. Well, he's hit one with his left foot and now one with the right. And he's certainly getting the range. Coutinho, one of the Brazilian base players. Well, too many of them about in this squad. Baltazar was the top scorer in the Spanish First Division last season. Dunga. Oh, good stop by Baena with Bebeto following in. And I suppose in that sort of situation, that's where Baltazar has got so many of his goals following in around the 6-yard box.
Oh, that's exactly right. I mean, he is a very, very average player until he crosses the penalty line, and then he seems to become a little bit of a giant. Very selfish in the penalty area, likes nothing better than scoring. And I tell you what, if he was playing today, he'd be giving Branco some competition for taking free kicks. But I must say that...
Well, Venezuela will be happy to get to half-time just one down, but they may not have that luxury. Mazinho, Romario forced back though. And that little spell of danger passes as Aldair blasts into the crowd. We're well into stoppage time now. Welcome back to Caracas. The second half literally started as you rejoined us. Venezuela 0, Brazil 1. And this the opening game of all the World Cup qualifiers. Well, the referee was a long way away from the incident and rather dismissed it. Well, the Venezuelan optimism is still running high to Venezuela. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Taffarel didn't quite get there. Hit back by Rivas. Here he is again. Quereca. That's beautifully delivered, the pass by Dunga. To Valdo. Still Valdo. Still Valdo. Beaten away by Baena. Brazil keep the pressure on. And that was Branco's cross deflected, but the work for the goalkeeper came from Valdo's incisive run, and Venezuela seemed to melt away in front of him. But here's a chance now that Mazinho might be able to create. And Baena did very well to stop that rolling more than half a yard away from. He hopes to be playing his club football in Argentina shortly. Here's Branco. Well forward again. Well, they just are not quite getting it right. A couple of offside decisions, shots well stopped, and this time Romario with an awkward ball.
He's what you could possibly term almost an old-fashioned British central striker.
Fernandez. Well, it's still on for Venezuela to cause something of an upset, and a draw would be that. Rivas from not too far away from the position where Branco struck in the first half, but nothing like the accuracy. Just to go back to that, or we'll just look at the incident again. There's Brazil really clear with any overall or
player space, so there is a shortage of space. I mean, I have worked it and seen it work fairly successful at certain times, and I've no doubt it can be successful for Brazil, but I think in this particular game,
Mazinho. Well, Careca trying to make a last contribution because it looks as though he's going to be the player substituted. Silas goes on the outside himself, and a corner conceded by Cavallo. A lot of movement towards the near post, and it hits the other post, with Ricardo making his run into that area, and Venezuela were Lazzaroni to pick this one, involving the return to fitness of Careca. Romario, still Romario. They're always looking to bend it.
I was going to say they've certainly had.
Maybe now's the time for Brazil to reimpose their quality. And Romario's having one of those nights where nothing will go in, at least go in and count. He's still in there. Can it come down for him this time? It does! Well, a bit of persistence paying off.
You can't help but feel sorry for the keeper there, though, who incidentally has had a great game, hasn't he? He makes a great save off the first effort,
which was here,
and almost gets back and does something about this one.
And this is another look at the header.
Yeah, that's a good ball in.
But you have to hand it to Romario. His goal-scoring record, wherever he plays, is exceptional. And Silas. And Baena did 35. Careca, as you saw, making his way to the dressing room. We might have a look at a Venezuelan goal here. Betancourt couldn't set himself, and there's a break on now for Brazil, led by Mauro Galvão. If they play it right here, number 3 is in the offing. But the man who stood between them, Cavallo. Oh, there was a lovely acceleration from Silas then. Romario. And Bebeto! And the Venezuelan resistance is over.
Awareness and a good pure unselfishness, really. Obviously, he's in a better position, and he's just played him in. Can't help thinking if these two can maintain this form, the guy could be left in a position where he doesn't have to play Kareka. How bad's that?
Valdo. Mazinho switched to left back to accommodate Josimar. Dunga.
Well, they've also got a tremendous resolution about their play. I'm not so sure they've got the great creative midfield players they've had over the years, but they've certainly got a very, very hard-working side there.
Josimar moving into midfield. This is Ricardo. What a run! Bebeto! Ricardo made it possible, and Bebeto rifled in number 4, his second, to inside a couple of minutes for this precocious number 7. And the leggy Ricardo realising now that he had the licence to move forward, and Bebeto with a licence to kill the game off.
I mean, that's another of the great Brazilian strengths. The ball doesn't embarrass anybody. Defenders can coming up. You're having your first look at, or you're having a good look at the Brazilians.
Josimar, effortlessly done.
That was a good ball in. I knew it was possible to cross the ball from the right eventually.
But of course, he's remembered for shooting from that type of position. He got one past Pat Jennings against Northern Ireland. Try and force a way through down the Venezuelan right. But there is the final whistle. Venezuela tried hard and gave it really their best shot against opposition that has a history of pulverizing.